Good Yontif. Good evening. Good to see a lot of people here. I noticed on YouTube that there were about 100 and something watches of our Rosh Hashanah service. So welcome all of you watching at home. My name is Rabbi Josh Schreiber. This is our Cantorial Soloist, Tygiel. And I know they say it's a weird thing to say Happy Yom Kippur, but I like this holiday of Yom Kippur. It's a very special time. It's a time when a lot of us decide to come here and do these strange ancient rituals with other Jews. It's also, in a way, not a time at all. It's like one of those, it's a time between time. It's a time of suspended animation. You can see that Sam and I are wearing white. It's common to wear a tallis on the evening of Yom Kippur, even though one does not wear a tallis in any other evening service. Many people abstain. Those of us who have the capacity, the health capacity, abstain from food. We fast. This is just your reminder if it is a problem for your health, if you need to take medication, if you get lightheaded tomorrow afternoon, what you're supposed to do according to Jewish law is eat. Just wanted to put that out there. People abstain from other things. A lot of people will abstain from electronics, from social media, things that we otherwise would be doing, would be taking a break. Some people don't wear leather, which is why you will see that Sam and I are wearing sneakers. Because today life is on hold. Today we're taking a break. So we're going to put on our talises on page 2. If you have a talis and you want to put yours on too, you can join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'atef b'tzivanu. Kol Nidrei is an interesting service also in the fact that the Kol Nidrei itself happens before the service. The Kol Nidrei itself is a sort of legal fiction, perhaps, or something legally very, very real. This releasing of vows before the holiday proper begins.
I'm going to call up Allison Connors and Rhonda Basler to open the ark. And I'm going to call the following people up to hold the Torah. Mike Novick, Larry Kostant, Michelle Duenas, Sharon Seltzer, Janine Neprud, Mike Thurman, Jessica Yarman, Gordon Amgott, and Brad Rotsky.
As an introduction to Kol Nidrei, we say a curious thing. We say, Yeshiva shel Mala, Yeshiva shel Mata, Al Das Hamako, Al Das Hakahal, Anu Matirin Hispalel im Avaryonim. In the supernal upper assembly and in the lower assembly, with the assent of God and with the assent of this congregation, we are permitted to pray with transgressors, with people who have done wrong. And what we're really doing in this moment, and what we'll be doing all throughout these next 25 hours, is trying to bring together, trying to join together Yeshiva Shel Mala, Yeshiva Shel Mata, the upper assembly and the lower assembly, to do something really chutzpahdik, to tell God, God, this is how it's going to go. We are going to say, forgive us for everything that we've done wrong. Every single person in here has things that they're holding, they want to let go of. And then, God, you're going to say, I forgive you, just as you said. And in order to really know, to feel this transformation happen, we have to put our entire hearts, our entire bodies into our prayer tonight. For those of you who will be there tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we're going to pray all day. And the number one tool that we have for this is song. When we sing, something changes. We hear each other, our bodies resonate. And this dream that we can come here, that we can change the will of God, actually sinks into our bones. So I invite you throughout our service tonight, sing with me. Even if you don't know the words, even if you don't know the melody, you can hold out a note, you can hold out a drone, you can follow what I'm doing, you can follow what Josh is doing. And I want to begin by teaching you a very short melody that's going to ground us in the place that we need to be for Kol Nidrei. Shiva shel Malach ובשיבה של מעטה על דס המקום ועל דס הקהל אנו מדירים להתפלל עם עבריונים גדידי די 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 המי די Kol Nidrei Services וחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבוס דינרנה ורשתבונה וריחר ממנה ודעזרנה על נפשסו מיום כיפורים זה Yom Kippurim Abba Aleinu Aleinu Litova Kol Nidrei Navahon On Yehon Sharon Shvisin Betelin Umevutalin Lo Sheririn Velo Kayamin Nidrana Lo Nidrei Vesarana lo esare Ushevuatana lo shevu
Please join me on page 18 in the words in English of the Kol Nidrei. All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication, that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until next day of atonement. May it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid, and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows, our resolves shall not be resolves, and our oaths, they shall not be oaths.
ונזלח לכבודס בני ישראל ולגר הגר בסוחם כי יכול לכל העם בשגגה סלח נא לעוונם הזה כי גדל חסדך וכאשר נשא עשה לעם הזה ממצרים וירנה ושם נאמר ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך
And God responded, I forgive as you have asked. You can have a seat. That's it, right? We're forgiven now. The rest of Yom Kippur is the afterglow. Is actually no, I think maybe not. Maybe the rest of Yom Kippur is trying to convince ourselves that God has forgiven us already. I'd like to actually invite Gordon. Where are you? You sat down. I thought you were going to hang out because Gordon has a few words to share with us. I want to thank John Rogler, our cellist, for beautiful, beautiful playing. Thank you.
Yemei Kamek Tova, final sealing. On Kol Nidrei, I would like to thank everyone for being here in person and on YouTube. Our congregation, Congregation Agudath Achim, began by Jews in Taunton and surrounding communities congregating in one another's homes. Before 1912, our generational ancestors took it upon themselves to build this beautiful synagogue. The cornerstone is 1912. Those were the first Jewish pioneers here. We were an Orthodox synagogue at that time. Over the years, other pioneers changed us to a conservative synagogue and then in the 1980s, pioneers of those days decided to practice ritual equality. Today's pioneers have established a progressive synagogue with prayers and rituals from all branches of Judaism. In the early 1950s, the pioneers of that time built the community house where many joyous events have been held over the years. Our two cemeteries, Mount Nebo and Harmony Park, are there to provide burials for those that are to choose to use it. The pioneers of most recent times have done much and will continue to do so far into the future. I am now going to recognize some of our pioneers, past and present. If I left anyone out, I apologize for doing so. When I call your name, please rise. Mike Novick, board chairman, who has led us through some very tumultuous times over the past few years. Mike Thurman, chairman of Building and House and Cemetery. Without Mike, we wouldn't be here today. Sheila Thurman, for preparing Kiddush, purchasing everything we need for Kiddush, and I help Sheila clean up. Our co-presidents, Mia Almeida and Stacy Gay, I don't think Stacy's here, help us each week to make sure services are conducted smoothly, and amongst other duties, preside over the Religious Practices Committee. Stacy Gay and Sharon Seltzer are co-chair people of the religious school. They do a tremendous job, along with Reb Josh and the religious school staff, to instruct our children about Judaism. Gail Peckman and Lady Connor are running the Sisterhood, and Sherry Constant is also a star to Sisterhood. Rosemary Curran is our recording secretary and generally contributes to other projects as well. Larry Constant is our Ways and Means chairman, who coordinated our Common Aid Night last year. This year, he and the Ways and Means Committee are working extremely hard to make sure that we have a successful gala at the district on October 26th. Larry was also instrumental when we had anti-Semitic and other graffiti sprayed on our synagogue. He was very instrumental in helping us with our insurance claim. Mike Peckman, who serves as co-chairman along with me, has worked diligently in all our tech improvements. Rakefet, our synagogue software, is now online, and you can pay your dues and religious school fees through Rakefet. You can view services on YouTube now as well. After the end of services tomorrow night, we should thank all the Breakfast Committee members who helped us for that event tomorrow night. Ken Marin has coordinated special events and is our membership chair. Miriam Gleason initiated our book club group several years ago, and we discussed various books after reading them every month. All the books either have Jewish authors or Jewish themes. Reb Josh has always inspired us with his insightful services. Cantor Sam Tygiel and Rabbi Josh gave us a wonderful service on both days of Rosh Hashanah. Our patriarch is Dr. Chick Halfand, who's not here, and our matriarch is Reva Newfield. They both have helped to mentor me and given others their wisdom and on various issues over the years. Lori McLeod, our office administrator, has gone beyond her job role for us over the years. If you have a chance, please stop by and visit Lori at the community house one morning. Congregation of Gudat Lachem spends $250,000 in the best of times to keep our properties up to standards. If our buildings need major repairs, we spend significantly more. Dues and religious school fees amount to just 28% of the revenues needed to maintain us. We do have fundraisers and some donations as well. These events and solicitation for funds do not bring us anywhere near the funding needed to keep us going. We draw down from our investable assets to make up some of the difference. The best way to contribute is through annual giving. Your charitable investment goes further since Vicki and I contribute 25% of your contribution up to $1,000. Although annual giving solicitations go out in early December, you can contribute anytime during the year to help keep Congregation Agudath Achim. Thanks for listening, and Yom Tov.
Thank you, Gordon. And thanks to all those people for all they do. Now we have an evening service. Begin on page 23. Steal into the prayer book like a stowaway, fasting. Money. Say that again for the people at home. Steal into the prayer book like a stowaway, fasting without a bite, travel for days till you reach the shore. Lie folded up in your hideout. Do not stir through the whole journey, and if, with the right word, you get into the proper place and light up the little prayer book with Jewish joy, that will be it. The little prayer book will have to carry you through all eternities, and they will daven you too, will say you. Please rise in body or in spirit, page 22 for the Baruch.
Arechu es Adonai Amevorach. Baruch Adonai Amevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai Amevorach leolam vaed.
24.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro mari v'aravi.
Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time.
El Chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai da 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 da. Ya 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 da 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 da. Hamariv Aravim Avas Olam Beis Yisrael Amechavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, oisanu limadeta. Alakein Adonai Eloheinu, mishpeinu kumeinu, natziach bechokecha, nismach b'divrei tzarasecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם בלילה, יומם בלילה. ועבדך תשם עמנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ohev amo Yisrael.
And the Shema is on page 28.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayed.
Please have a seat. We continue on page 30.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים אל אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem emes.
Page 39. Our sages taught it is proper to mention the exodus of Egypt in the morning prayers and also at night. We celebrate the going out from Egypt in the morning light, full of confidence and vigor as we enter the new day. But in the evening, weary from the day's exertions, cast down and fearful of the coming of the night, what can the Exodus teach us then? Our nighttime prayer brings hope and trust in the future. As God did not abandon our people long ago through the long, dark night of exile, so the Holy One, we say, will be with us in this time to come. To stand by the one you love, that is the truest essence of faithfulness, the meaning of emunah. So it is written in the Psalms, to proclaim your kindness in the morning and your faithfulness in the nights. Sing with joy in the morning of your life, when light surrounds you, when the world seems beautiful and good, and in the evenings of your life, when you dwell in sorrow and the world seems dark. Do not despair. Mi chamocha, the song the children of Israel sang as they crossed the sea out of slavery on page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא זה הילוס אוסף אלי מלכוסך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר גיפד אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
page 43, the second reading, the piece of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. And if you know and love this poem, feel free to join me. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world
and I
am
am
free.
free. Third line in Hebrew on page 42. Ufros aleinu sukas, sukas, shilomecha, ufros aleinu sukas, sukas, shilomecha, ufros aleinu, sukas, sukas, shilomecha. Ushmor tzeseinu v'einu l'chaim u'l'shalom ve'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Please rise in body or in spirit, page 44, because it is not only Yom Kippur, it is also Shabbat. We get here both the proof text for Yom Kippur on 44, followed by the proof text for for Shabbat on 44, followed by Yom Kippur on 45. Vishamro.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם בריס עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל עושי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
For on this day atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai. Top of page 45.
כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם לטהר אתכם מכל חטאותיכם לפני אדוני תטהרו.
In a moment, Sam will recite the Kaddish on page 45, and it will be followed by a private Amidah, a private time to talk to God. You can use any words you want. There are words in their prayer book. The way this prayer book is set up, I like to say it's a choose your own adventure. The traditional Hebrew words and their translation tend to be on the right side, and on the left, in the gray boxes, you have the poetry, the responses, the alternatives. Spend some time with any of those that work for you in the time that we have, page 46 through 81. And if we're still going, if you've reached page 81 and other people are quiet, I urge you to go on to page 82 for the Ashamnu, the specific Yom Kippur prayers, and have a moment to say them yourself before we repeat them together as a community. So beginning with the Kaddish and 45 on page 45, and then on to your personal prayers.
Iskadal, Viskadal, Shemei Rabba, Milma Divrach Yerusei, V'amlich Malchusei, B'chayechon, Uv'yamechon, Uv'chayedecho Beis Yisrael, Magala, Uvizman Kariv, V'meru, Amen. Yesh Merabah Mevorach, Le'olam U'l'olmei Almaya, Yizbarach V'yishtabach, Vispoar, Visromam, Visnasei, Visadar, Visale, Visalal, Sheme de Kudesha, Berichu, Le'ela, Ule'ela, Miko Bechasa, Veshirasa, Tush Bechasa, Venechem Asa, Damian Be'alma Iridai Iridai Hai Lai 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 Ve'meru Amen.
The words on page 81. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, soul of eternity, my rock and my redeemer. Have a seat. Rabbi Tarfon said, long time ago, the day is short, the task is great, the laborers are lazy, the wage is abundant, and the master is urgent. I'll say that again. The day is short, the task is great, the laborers are lazy, the wage is abundant, and the master is urgent. He also used to say, you do not have to finish the task, but you are not free to give it up. When I was in college, I was one of those people who tried to do it all. I double majored, or I tried to double major in music, in cello, and in an interdisciplinary social science major that I put together myself. I was in the kind of school that you could do that, which was centered around studying conflict, with a little side of photography and another side of student government. By the time I graduated, I'd worked myself into such stress patterns that my hands hurt all the time, and I couldn't play my cello without making it worse. It took me about a decade to learn how to let go enough to go back to conservatory, where I found that sometimes the most effective way for me to spend a precious hour in the practice room was to spend half of it meditating or napping under the piano. I think there's something deeply counter to our culture about pursuing something as economically pointless as a master's in viola da gamba, specializing in medieval Renaissance and Baroque music. And I think, and on top of that, to discipline myself to relax as I was going about it, it went against everything that I felt I had tried to learn as a kid about hard work and achievement. I think our culture really glorifies, I think we all would agree, that our culture glorifies work and stress. Work hard, play hard. This in a context where we're increasingly anxious about personal finances, personal safety, anti-Semitism if you're Jewish, the state of politics at home, war abroad in Israel and all around the world, climate change, and we each have our own anxieties. In a 2022 survey by the American Psychological Association, about a third of American adults reported feeling that stress is completely overwhelming for them on most days. According to a recent advisory by the US Surgeon General, that number increases to about half when you're dealing with parents, who report that, in this survey, the language was, most days their stress is completely overwhelming. Stress, as we know, is both a psychological and a physiological experience. When we perceive ourselves to be threatened, our body produces hormones, like cortisol is the most famous of them. Our body increases the heart rate and mobilizes the whole nervous system into what's called the fight or flight pattern, ready for us to encounter some sort of a threat. Unfortunately, the way we've evolved, the way those systems have evolved, is to deal with short-term threats, like an attacking animal, or perhaps an animal that we are attacking that we want to eat that's trying to get away. That gets our heart pumping, right? That's all that cortisol makes sense in that context, right? We did not evolve to deal with ongoing stressors like negative cash flow or other kinds of worries about climate change or our children. I think that for better and for worse, our ancestors as Jews do have a lot of experience with long-term stress. It's baked into our earliest mythologies of ourselves as a people. For instance, following 400 years as slaves in Egypt, our people were at this particular impasse where they felt utterly powerless, caught between the Egyptian army on the one hand and the Sea of Reeds in front of them. And this is the first time that they give into this panic mode where they tell Moses, are there not enough graves in Egypt that you had to bring us into the wilderness so we could die here? Literally the quote. Moses' response is curious. He says, God will fight for you, and you, atem tacharishun, you be still. Be still? Be still? I can imagine them saying, how can you tell us to be still at a time like this? God then speaks to Moses and says something else. He says, why do you cry out to me? Daber el bnei Israel ve'isa'u. Speak to the children of Israel and let them get going. So, which is it? Be still or get going? Rabbi Alan Liu, who you have, if you've been hanging out with me over the past month, have heard me talk a lot about his book, This is Real and You're Completely Unprepared, The High Holidays as a Journey of Transformation or something like that. He wrote another work on meditation in the Jewish tradition, and he titled it, after this passage, Be Still and Get Going. Because he argues we need stillness in order to get going. We need breaks in order to recover from stress, which keeps us going better than pushing through nonstop. But we also need stillness in order to know where or how we are to go. We need the stillness to be able to listen to our heart, to be able to listen to what our tradition calls the still small voice of God. I don't know about you, but I don't get many creative ideas staring at a computer screen or a blank piece of paper. I get them while I'm doing something else. Taking a walk, washing the dishes, driving down the highway. I still keep a mat folded up in my office. I don't have a piano to sleep under, but I will, when I'm stuck trying to write something, a sermon or a newsletter or something like that, sometimes this is what I need to do. I need to lie on my back and let my mind come up with a solution to whatever the problem is that I'm trying to work through. And I think I think prayer works like that too. And the prayers, especially these prayers that we're doing on Yom Kippur. You know, the prayers themselves, the wonderful English poetry and readings, the rabbi carrying on, might suggest some things to think about, but I think those are just clues about where you need to go. I bet you're going to get your best insight over Yom Kippur while Sam is singing, during the long haftarah of Yonah, some point where you're staring out the windows, when you're noticing some texture on somebody's talis, and your mind goes to where it needs to go. And it didn't go there, it wouldn't have gotten there if you hadn't put yourself here, if you hadn't taken this break. And probably also if you hadn't picked up these little sparks of these ideas that come through the structure of these prayers. I think that the prayers are there on some levels to distract the part of your mind that's trying to think things through linearly or systematically, that's stuck in that stressful problem-solving mode. The prayers keep you occupied enough so that the creative parts of your mind can do the work in the background that you need to do, to make whatever changes that you need to do, that you need to make in your life. Alan Liu, this time back in This Is Real and You're Completely Unprepared, advises about this time of year. If we are not used to solitude or contemplation, if we are normally consumed by a frantic round of activity, if we live our lives at a rapid pace, then simply stopping, simply coming to synagogue and praying, setting aside a small period of time each day for contemplation, observing the Sabbath or some other conscious retreat from the world of activity and stress, can suddenly leave us in confrontation with the contents of our heart. And that's what we're here to do, to come in confrontation with the contents of our heart. The truth is that there is a lot to do in our hearts, in our personal lives, and in the wider world. And it can be really overwhelming. Rabbi Rami Shapiro, in his book Wisdom of the Jewish Sages, a modern reading of Pirkei Avot, paraphrases Rabbi Tarfon's dictum from the beginning of my talk with some help from the prophet Micah. He says, and you may have seen this, I've definitely seen this as a meme on Facebook. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. And how do we do these things now without being daunted by the enormity of the task? I think for that we take Alan Liu's advice, take the advice from the book of Exodus, be still and get going. And so with that in mind, we are going to continue on to the public vidui, the collective, I should say, confession on page 82. I'll start on page 83, in fact. When I was young and learned the alphabet, life was open to me. A was full of aspiration, B was beauty, C for confidence, and D for dreams. And so on through the list, no fewer than 26 opportunities, 26 possibilities. And yet, I fear that with the passage of time, I've squandered them, creating instead A for apathy, B's for brusqueness, and C's for coarseness. Help me then to return to that innocence. Let the letters be letters once again, and let them rise to the heavens and form into words that you know I wish to say. Please rise in body and spirit for the Ashamnu on page 82.
Avnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Divarnu Dofi, Didai, Dai, 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 Dida, Da, Da, Dai, 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 Ya, Da, Da, Dai, 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 Hevinu, Vehirshanu, Zadnu, Hamasnu, Tafalnu Shaker, Ai, Dai, 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 Ya, Da, Da, Dai, 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 Ya, Da, Da, Dai, Dai, Da, Yatznu Ra, Kizavnu, Latsnu, Maradnu, Niatsnu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Tsararnu, Kishinu, Oref, Ai, Lai, 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 Da, 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 Ya, Da, 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 Rashanu, Vayechadnu, Tianu, Tainu, Titanu, Didai, Dai, 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 Ya, Da, Da, Dai, 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 Dida, Da, Da, Dai, Dai,
On the
Do.
bottom of page 84, you know the secrets of the universe and the secrets of the human heart. You know and understand us, for you examine our inner lives. Nothing is concealed from you, nothing hidden from your sight. Eternal One, our God and God of our ancestors, we pray that this be your will. Forgive all our wrongs. Pardon us for every act of injustice. Help us atone for all our moral failures. We continue on page 86.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בזדון
On
ובשגגה.
the ways that we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בדיבור פה.
and the harm we have caused your world to the words of our mouth,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, באימוץ
the ways
הלב.
we have wronged you by hardening our heart,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בטיפשות פה.
and the harm we have caused your world through careless speech,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בככה שוב
the ways we have
חזר.
wronged you through lies and deceit,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך,
the harms we have
בחילוץ.
caused your world through gossip and rumor,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך,
the ways we have wronged you by judging
בפלילוס.
others unfairly,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בזלזול הורים
and the harm
ומורים.
we have caused your world to disrespect of parents and teachers,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בווידוי פה.
the ways we have wronged you through insincere apology,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בהונאה
and the harm we have caused
אסריה.
your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בחוזק יד.
and the way we have wronged you through violence and abuse,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, במשא
and the harm we have caused in your
ובמתן.
world through dishonesty in business,
ועל כולם, אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בגלוי ובסתר.
ways we have wronged you openly and secretly,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בפרקסות.
and the harm we have caused in your world through losing self-control,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בגילוי
the ways we
עריות.
have wronged you through sexual immorality,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, במאכל ובמשתה.
the harm we have caused your world through consumption of food and
על
drink,
חטא שחטאנו לפניך, ביצר
the ways we have wronged you by giving in to
הרע.
hostile impulses,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בנשך
and the harm we have caused
ובמרבית.
in your world through greed and exploitation,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך,
ways we have
בלצון.
wronged you through cynicism and scorn,
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך, בנטי
and the harm we have caused in your world through
אסכרון.
arrogant behavior,
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת
Ways we have wronged you
חינם.
by hating without cause.
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בתומאס
In the harm we have caused you both
שפסיים.
through offensive speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלשון הרע.
In ways we have wronged you with this slanderous tongue.
ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצרות
In the harm we have caused you
עין.
through selfish or petty spirit.
ועל כולם אלוה סליחוס, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. ועל כולם אלוה סליחוס, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
The entire Slichot service is a kind of a standing service, but if you need a rest, you need to sit down, and now and again, please do, especially now as we read a poem in page 92. God of the covenant, intimate of the heart, creator of the world, gaze from Horeb and forgive through your love. Send healing and mend the cracks within me caused by the senselessness of serving idols. Forgive the shards I left scattered on my path, broken bits of body, pieces of soul. For it all happened by mistake, the result of human frailty. Forgive, and through your hidden love, send to the shattered tablets a mystical repair of acceptance and light, and send me strength, my God, to stand before you.
Page 96. Please sing with me as you learn this melody. Yale tachanunenu me'erev ve'avo shavasenu miboker v'yira'eh rinunenu ad ha'arev yale koleinu me'erev yale 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 koleinu yale 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 koleinu Yiridam bam bye yam bam bye 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 Yiridam bam bye yam bam bye die 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 Yiridam bam bye yam bam bye 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 Yiridam bam bye yam bam bye do ve'avo tzidkaseinu miboker v'yira'eh pidyoneinu ad ha'arev yale inuyenu me'erev ve'avo slichaseinu miboker yale yale yale
Aleinu, Yale, 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 Yale Koleinu, Yiridam Bamba, Yam Bamba, Dai, 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 Yiridam Bamba, Yam Bamba, Dai, 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 Yiridam Bamba, Yam Bamba, Yam Bamba, Dai, 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 Yam Bamba, Yam Bamba, Dai, 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 Yiridam Bamba, Bam Bamba,
Page 98. Hear our call, Adonai our God. Show us compassion. Accept our prayer with love and goodwill. Stan will be chanting at the top of the page.
Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu Chos v'rachem aleinu v'kabel berachamim u'beratzon es tefilaseinu Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashovo Chadesh aleinu Chadesh aleinu Chadesh yameinu
Page 100. The 13 divine attributes of mercy.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rab Chesed v'Emes, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nose Avon v'Pesha, V'Chata v'Nakeh.
Here's another place, if you're getting tired, it'd be fine to have a seat. Page 102, translation is on 103. Consider the clay in the potter's hand as stretched and rolled as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, our loving protector. Look to the covenant, not our imperfections.
כי הנה כך אומר ביד היוצר, ברצותו מרחיב וברצותו מקצר, כן אנחנו בידך חסד נוצר, לבריס הבית, לבריס הבית, ואל תפן ליצר.
Page 105. There's a refrain here. Feel free to join in on it. In all your ways be aware of God, for there is no sovereign without a people. Ein melech velo am. We are the chariot on which God's glory rides, for there is no sovereign without a people. Let the love of God be spread through our deeds, for there is no sovereign without a people. You are my servant, Israel. I will be glorified through you, for there is no sovereign without a people. Where is God? Anywhere we let God in. For there is no sovereign without a people.
Ein melech belo am.
Eternal God, you revealed to Moses your 13 attributes of mercy. They exist in the world through our awareness. They transform the world through our actions. We speak them now as prayer and aspiration as we rise in body or in spirit. The 13 attributes on page 105.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun, Erech Apayim, Verav Chesed Ve'emes, Noitze Chesed Lalafim, Nose Avon Vapesha, V'chata
Page
V'nakeh.
106, our God and God of our ancestors, we are your people and you are our God.
כי אנו עמך ואתה אלוהינו, אנו בניך ואתה אבינו, אנו עבדיך ואתה אדוננו, אנו כליך ואתה חלקנו, אנו נחלתך ואתה גורלנו, אנו צונך ואתה רוענו, אנו כרמך ואתה נוטרנו, אנו פעולתך ואתה יוצרנו, אנו רעייתך ואתה הודינו, אנו סגולתך ואתה קרובנו, אנו עמך ואתה מלכנו, אנו מאמירך ואתה מאמירנו.
We are insolent, but you are compassionate and gracious. We are stubborn and stiff-necked, but you are slow to anger. We persist in doing wrong, but you are essence of mercy. Our days are shadow passing by, but you are existence itself. Your years never ending.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun, Erech Apayim, Verav Chesed Ve'emes, Noitze Chesed Lalafim, Nose Avon Vapesha, V'chata V'nakeh.
I'd like to invite Miriam Shabazz to come and open the ark for us for Avinu Malkeinu, but not just yet. You can come up now, but we are going to do pages 110 and 111 as we've been doing. Sam will do the Hebrew. If you want to do it with him, you are welcome to. We will do the English, but we will punctuate each line with Hu Ya'anenu. He will answer us.
מי שענה לשרה אימנו בזקנתו,
You who answered our mother Sarah in her old age.
הוא יעננו. מי שענה לאברהם אבינו בהר המוריה,
You answered our father Abraham on Mount Moriah.
הוא יעננו. מי שענה ליצחק בנו שנעקד על גבי
You
המזבח,
answered their son Isaac, who was burnt upon the altar.
הוא יעננו. מי שענה לרבקה בהריונה,
You answered Rebecca when she cried, "Why do I exist?"
הוא יעננו. מי שענה ליעקב
You
בבית-ישראל,
answered Jacob at Bethel, "Israel shall be your name."
הוא יעננו. מי שענה ללאה בעונייה,
You answered Leah in her sadness.
הוא יעננו. מי שענה לרחל בעצבונה,
You answered Rachel in her pain.
Oh, Yanenu Mishana Yosef Bebeis
Oh, answer Joseph in the
Asurim.
prison house.
Oh, Yanenu Mishana Lam Yaldo Saivrio
Answer the
Salavanim.
midwives, Shipra and Pua at their birthing.
Oh, Yanenu Mishana Yocheved Osfasa
You answered Yocheved's
Yor.
courage on the bank of the Nile.
Oh, Yaneinu, Mishan Alavosenu Limoseimu Al
You answered our fathers and our
Yamso.
mothers at the sea of reeds.
Oh, Yaneinu, Mishan Alamoshe
You answered Moses at Sinai.
Bechorei.
I bore you on eagle's wings.
Oh, Yaneinu, Mishan Alivnot Slofchad Beomdan Petzach Ohel
You answered the
Moed.
daughters of Zophad who stood up for their rights before Moses and God.
Oh, Yaneinu, Mishan Eliyahu Bekol Mamadaka
You answered Elijah with a
B'midbar.
still small voice in the wilderness.
Oh,
You answered the righteous ones before us,
Yaneinu.
men and women of integrity and compassion. Answer us.
Oh, Yaneinu.
The ark is opened. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Some of us have cancer. Some of us have lost strength of body. Some have lost memory and speech. Some of us are in pain. Some can't find work. Some of us bear the marks of human cruelty inside where the scars don't show. Some live with depression. Some battle addiction. Many feel alone. Some have known shattered marriages, trust betrayed, hopes destroyed. Some of us have lost the ones we love far too soon. And some have lost a child. All of us have seen suffering in our midst. All of us know the ravages of war for which there are no words. Avinu Malkeinu, why? Avinu Malkeinu, are you there? Do you care? Avinu Malkeinu, hear our pain, hear our anger, hear our grief. Avinu Malkeinu, here is our prayer. Give us the strength to go on. Give us reason to get up each day. Give us purpose and persistence. Help us to fend off fear and to hold on to hope. Help us to be kind. Don't make us bow or grovel for your favor. Give us dignity and give us courage. Avinu Malkeinu, show us the way to a year of goodness. Renew our belief that the world can be better. Restore our faith in life. Restore our faith in you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Hanenu, ki ein banu masi, masei imanu. Tzedakah v'chesed, aseh imanu. Tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed in sin before
Avinu
you.
Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu ve'al aleinu v'tapeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our family.
Avinu Malkeinu, kalei deve v'cherev v'ra'av
Avinu Malkeinu, hold the onslaught of
me'aleinu.
sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu, kalei kol tsar u'mastin
Avinu Malkeinu,
ma'aleinu.
halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu, kosveinu b'sefer chayim
Avinu Malkeinu,
tovim.
enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, we know for us the year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu Male Yadeinu Mibirchosecho
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessing.
Avinu Malkeinu Harem Keren
Avinu Malkeinu, let
Meshichacho
our eyes behold the dawn of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu Na'al Tashiveinu Reika
Avinu Malkeinu, we
Milfonecho
pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing.
Avinu Malkeinu Kabel Berachamim Uvratzon Es
Avinu
Tefiloseinu
Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace
Avinu
it.
Malkeinu Aseimanu Leman
Avinu
Shemecha
Malkeinu, act towards us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu Asei Lemancha Im Lo
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your
Lemaanenu
sake, if not for ours.
Avinu Malkeinu En Lanu Melech
Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our
Elato
sovereign.
Avinu Malkeinu Pesach Sharei Shamayim Lisfil
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open
Haseinu
to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu Shema Koleinu Chus V'rachem
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice,
Aleinu
treat us with tender compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu Admeinu Aneinu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu V'aneinu Ki ein banu masim Osei imanu Tzedaka v'chesed Asei imanu tzedaka v'chesed v'hoshienu Avinu Malkeinu Avinu Malkeinu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu V'aneinu Ki ein banu masim Asei imanu Tzedaka v'chesed Asei imanu tzedaka v'chesed v'hoshienu Avinu Malkeinu Avinu Malkeinu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu V'aneinu Ki ein banu masim Asei imanu Tzedaka v'chesed Asei imanu Tzedaka v'chesed v'hoshienu Ya ba bye bye ya ba ba bye bye ba. Iri da 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 da. Ya da da ya da da da. Ai da 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 do.
Have a seat. In this glowing moment following Avinu Malkeinu, I would like to say a prayer for people in need of healing. We've had a few additional illnesses and injuries in our community. Page 340. A prayer for those who are ill and for givers of care. Once we've read this, before the last paragraph, I will read a list of people in need of healing. If I have left any name off the list that you would like to speak into the space, I will invite you to do so at that time. May the Eternal One who blessed all life bless and strengthen all of us who struggle against illness. Feel free to read with me or not. May we, whose lives are touched by illness, be blessed with faith, courage, love, and caring. May we experience the support and sustenance of family, friends, companions, and community. May we be granted restful nights and days of comfort. We pray for refuah shlema, precious moments of healing, and a sense of wholeness in body and soul. May those who care for the sick with their hands, their voices, and their hearts be blessed with courage and stamina. May those who pursue healing through medical skill and knowledge be blessed with insight, patience, and compassion. Today we're thinking in particular of Joyce Fox, Wendy Kleinfaller, Roy Lederman, Rose Edelman, Rassia Batrivka, Judy Fried, Arvine Peckman, Shannon Carvalho, Janet Press, Jordan Montero, Lee Backman, Leal Bas Marta Yosef, Ethel Backman, Judith Laro, Jason Moda, Lisa Bowman, David Gay, Lisa Diaz, Elsie Diaz, Marie McKenzie, Bill McKenzie, Stacy Gay, Chavadina Batsura, Ted Amgott, Jean Matulski, Doug Michaud, Heather Ellis, Sister Mary Ellen Ryan, Judy Ackerman, Leslie Yarman, Yocheved Bat Avram Visara, Aaron Curry, James DeRusso, Chris Lombardi, Deidre Reese, Matthew Stein, Matt Siegel, Lisa Graff, David Philbrick, Gabrielle Maya, Elliot Becker, Jackson Schwartz, Roz Helfand, Raziel Liba Bat Binyamin Verachel. There are other names we should mention.
Tom Durniak, Arthur Solomon, and Terry Boucher. Bill Walker, Susan Steinberg, Phil Soda.
May all of us, the sick and the well together, find courage and hope. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
And as we move towards the conclusion of our service, Kol Nidrei is kind of a fake out, isn't it? It starts with Kol Nidrei, oh, this is going to be a huge service. And then you're like, oh, it's just an evening service. Oh, the evening service. Oh, we have slichot. And then it goes on for a while. But we come to Aleinu on page 17. Actually, since I've already disrupted the flow here, I want to take this moment to thank the team who is behind the scenes here, Lori in the office, Mia, and who has pinch hit here this evening and helped organize with things. Mike Peckman here on tech for us. And we have other mics who have helped us get through it, and everyone, even if I haven't mentioned your name, and all of you for being here for this service. Services tomorrow continue at 9 a.m. That service should run till about 1-ish. And then we'll have a break, and service will begin again at 4 o'clock. With the final service Ne'ilah, we're expecting to hit that probably around 6, but at 7, we will blow the shofar that's in the corner over there, and we will usher in the closing of the gates, perhaps the opening into the year, and we will then celebrate with a meal to break the fast. So please be with us for all of that.
If I can just add to that, I just want to make a really strong pitch to come to the Elah. Rabbi Josh and I were talking in our preparation about how it's just like absolutely like one of our favorite services of all of Judaism. And so I hope you'll join us tomorrow evening.
Please do. I think we were going to not be standing up here above you, but we're going to be sitting down there with you. And we're going to be singing together. And I think it'll be a very holy moment. Whatever you think holiness is, it's that.
May it be so. May it be so.
Please rise in body and spirit, page 117, Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת סוזו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 119 on the bottom, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 121, this holy night concludes with memory. Our last thoughts always are of those we have lost. And I didn't mention before, we will have Yizkor around 12 o'clock tomorrow. We miss them especially tonight, yearning for their presence at our side. The service we have shared once was theirs. They spoke and sang the ancient words. They prayed, repented, and yearned for better lives as we have done. Some not in this tradition, but they all each in their way. Flawed in their deeds, imperfect in their faith, they still drew strength from their traditions as we seek fortitude in ours. What was good and beautiful in their lives once gave us joy and now inspires us to reach higher. The knowledge that they loved us deeply brings comfort to our hearts. So we light candles of remembrance and gratitude, and we speak this timeless truth. Zichronam livracha. This week in our community, we are remembering the yahrzeits of Mildred, Antine, Morris, Karen, Rosa Grunberg Drucker, Ida Lewison, Sophie Rothkopf, Isaac Kraft, Minnie Rothkopf, and Richard Rubin. Are there other names that we should mention?
Lillian Chandler, David Adler,
Bill Tygiel, Melanie Woods.
Their memory is a blessing now and forever. We pray that their goodness will live on in our lives, planting seeds of kindness and hope for generations to come. As we join in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 122.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו, בעלמא דברה חירוסי וימליך מלכוסי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו, לעילה ולעילה, מכל ברכתה ושירסה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעולמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עולנו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי סבל, ואמרו אמן.
There are other announcements that I left off? I need to thank Sam. That's what I did. Please have a seat. We have a final few songs. On page 124, just one thing I ask of God, one thing do I seek, to dwell in God's house all the days of my life, to behold divine sweetness and beauty, and to gaze in delight at God's temple. As we sing, I'd like to invite you to reflect, to contemplate, what are you taking away from tonight? What door might have opened in your heart? What door might have opened in your soul as we go into these, we have entered into this liminal time between times of Yom Kippur?
Achas shalti me'etz Adonai, Ota abakesh, Achas shalti me'etz Adonai, Oiso abakesh, shivti b'veis Adonai, b'ol yemei kol yemei chayai, lachazos v'noam Adonai, ulvaker b'echalo. Yiridai, 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 ay, yiridai, amai, ilai, 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 ay, ilai, ilai, yadai, ilai, 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 yamai, yababa, ilai, ay, ilai, 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 yiridai, hadai, ilai.
Page 126.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra lisnasa b'chefto kol azai melech shemo nivra ve'acharei kichlos hakol לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בספרה, והוא אחד באין שני, להמשילו להכבירה, בלי ראשיס בלי סכליס, ולא העוז בעם ישראל, הוא אלי וחי גואלי, בצור חבלי וצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנס כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו הפקיד רוחי, בעץ ישן בעירה, ועם רוחי גבייסתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא.
God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives in this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. At the bottom of page 125.
Lishana tova tikasevu, Lishana tova tikasevu, Lishana tova, Lishana tova tikasevu, Vesechatemu.
May you be inscribed and sealed for a good year. Shema tova, Gmar Chatima tova.